Hello there and welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging, episode 59. This series is moving right along. If you've been tuning in midway, episode 59 is a good record for me, actually. We switched over to the coffee break model starting around episode 30. And basically ever since, all these episodes go in order and it's all one big series. It adds up to one hell of an overview, actually, of how to create a full information business on the internet based around blogging. And so far, we spent several episodes at phase one, where we've been talking about selecting your niche and finding things that are marketable that you can sell and things like that. And then we've been spending pretty much this entire month in phase two talking about various aspects of setting up your blog in the right way. Things like colors, your blog categories, how to SEO your post, reducing your bounce rate. That's weird. I just had my cat come in behind me. It kind of freaked me out. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are with this. And in this one, especially after a month of talking all about how to set up our blog in the right way, it makes a lot of sense to do a little bit of testing. And so that's what we're going to be talking about now, is user testing of your blog, how to actually do a little bit of testing to make sure that what you intend your site to look like actually looks that way on the other end. It's a real easy newbie mistake to think that what you see in your web browser when you look at your own site is exactly the way it looks and functions for everybody else. And it's just not true. I mean, everybody's got different types of computers with different browsers. Some people are on a mobile device like an iPad or an iPhone or an Android. Some people have different plugins installed that do various things. And it's just a good idea to get an outside perspective. The other thing too is we tend to get tunnel vision about our own blogs because we're looking at it, we've made all the decisions, so it's natural to think, damn, my blog looks good. But it doesn't always. And, it's good to get that outside perspective because sometimes what you think makes perfect sense just might not resonate on the other end of things. So that's why user testing exists. This is why it's good to get to test out your site and how it's working. Now, the first and the easiest way to get this done is to do it yourself. And the way that you can do that is to make a point to test out your website in other browsers. So, for example, if you're using Chrome a lot, well, go make a point to try out your site in the Firefox browser or Internet Explorer, Internet Exploder, as I like to call it, although I've heard it's gotten a little bit better. If you're on a Mac and you use Chrome a lot, well, go and open the thing in Safari and make sure that it looks good there. And you just want to test these things out to make sure they look okay. But it's also not just looks. It also goes into how easy the site is to navigate. Again, we usually get tunnel vision on our own site. And so we will think, well, the site seems easy to navigate. There's this stuff in the sidebar. There's the header. Boy, it seems easy, right? Thing is, somebody else who is not intimately familiar with your site might not feel the same way. So another way that you can go is to head over to Fiverr. And that's Fiverr, Fiverr.com. This is a place where you can hire people to do all kinds of very random things for $5. Now, there are people there who will take videos of themselves literally just going through your site and talking out loud and giving feedback. And this is something that you can hire them to do for $5. Now, some people may cost a little bit more than that, depending on if they have any upgrades on their gig. That's what they call it over there. But you could pay somebody very cheaply to then go through your site and just talk things out and give you their feedback on things. They don't have to be an expert in your field or even an expert in blogging. They are just an outside set of eyes, and that's very valuable. In fact, sometimes it can be valuable to have that outside set of eyes that is not really part of your tribe, so to speak, because they've got a really fresh perspective. So that's Fiverr, definitely one way to go. Now, another way to go is usertesting.com. Now, usertesting.com is a paid service, and you can pay a monthly fee, and you can get people, these are people who are screened by that company to go through and talk out and give you feedback, and they'll literally record a video and go through your blog, and you'll learn all kinds of really, really good things about your site. Now, if you don't want to pay for it, the good news is they have a free option, and it's called Peek. P-E-E-K. And you can find that at peek.usertesting.com. So when you go over to that site at peek.usertesting.com, you will find the free version of user testing. Now, they will limit these videos to 5 minutes. In fact, the byline, I'm looking at the site right now, says, get a peek into the mind of your users. See and hear a 5-minute video of a real person using your site or app. It's super fast and totally free. So there you go. There you have it. That's the pretty good darn USP if you ask me. So that's at peek.usertesting.com, and you'll just get a 5-minute video. Now, you might ask yourself, why is it free? Well, it's because they're using it as a way to promote their actual service at usertesting.com. But so I don't know if they have a limitation on this or what have you, but definitely give it a whirl and see. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Now, another way that you can go, and this it works a little differently. You're not going to get a video per se, but it's crazyegg.com. Now, Crazy Egg is this was a company started by Neil Patel, which is from Quick Sprout. And I think they're the same guys behind Kissmetrics. But Crazy Egg is a site where you install a little bit of code on your blog, and then you will get this map, this heat map of where people are clicking on your blog. And you'll literally get all these little dots all over the place where you can see where people are clicking, and then you'll get these hot areas that are in red or white that show you the most popular parts of your site that people are clicking on. So it's a different form of user testing because you're not getting a video of a single person doing it. It's more of like a collective thing, and you're getting clicks and these maps. But the thing is, they give you an idea where other people are going on your site. I mean, where you think people might need to go to click, it might not be what they're actually doing when they get there. And so you can learn a lot about what's going on the receiving end of your blog by doing some testing with Crazy Egg. They actually have a much more robust version. I want to say it's called clicktail.com. I haven't looked at it in quite some time, but they had this thing where you could actually see user session videos of people interacting with your website. Quite cool. That's clicktail.com. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Now, another way to go for testing out your site in different web browsers, especially browsers that you don't have access to, is a site called Browser Shots, and that's at browsershots.org. And literally what this site does is take screenshots of your website in different web browsers. And they've got a crap load of web browsers. Not only all the major browsers, but all the different versions of those browsers. And you just check them off, you enter your URL, and it will take screenshots of what your site looks like inside those browsers. So it's a way to kind of make sure that your site looks decent. Now, so that's at browsershots.org. Now, very related to that is you want to make sure that your site looks good on a mobile device. And there's a lot of people who are surfing the internet on iPads or other forms of tablets or iPhones or Androids, and your site needs to look decent. And I'm not talking about just take your current site and shrink it. It needs to literally adjust so that it is very easily navigable on a touch device with a small screen. Now, so one way of finding out what your site looks like on mobile, well, if you have a mobile device, just pull up your site and see what happens. But another thing that you can do is use the inspector, which is built right into the Chrome browser. And it's also built into Firefox. But if you go into Chrome and you right-click in the little pop-up menu and click on Inspect Element, it'll be the bottom menu option. Then it'll pull up this little frame where it'll show you all the HTML and all this geeky stuff. But over in the top left of that frame, you'll see this little icon there that looks like a mobile phone. So if you click that, the Chrome browser will turn into this thing where you'll have a drop down at the top where you can select what type of mobile device you want your browser to act like. So you could say, yeah, I want to see what my site will look like on an iPhone 6 Plus. And you can just go to the drop down and pick the iPhone 6 Plus, and it'll literally resize your site to the proper screen size and show you exactly what your site is going to look like on that phone. So that's a really powerful tool built right into your browser. I would imagine that a good chunk of you guys listening right now are using Chrome, and this inspect element thing is built right into your browser, and you may not have ever used it before. So again, right click, hit inspect element, and then look for that little icon on the left side of that new pane that pops up that looks kind of like a mobile phone, and click that bad boy, and you can do a little bit of testing. Lastly, I'll leave you with a nice simple one. Ask some of your friends or family to go to your site and just start talking out their reactions to it. Again, it's an outside perspective. These guys, they probably know how to use the internet. They may not be part of your target market, but who cares? You just want to find out how your site hits them right off the bat. You know, ask them what their 5-second reaction is to what your site is all about. Or say, hey, what would, if you came to this website, what's going to immediately strike you as what I can do for you? And just sit back and listen to what they tell you. And just so you could do an informal survey like that, literally just with people you know. You can even pull up some of your best contacts on social media and have them do the same thing. So you don't even have to be in person if you don't want to be. But just people you know, your own personal contacts, you can go to them and have them give you an outside perspective on certain things on your site. So these are all various ways that you can go to do some user testing on your blog. It's very important that you are not the only set of eyes that makes any decisions on your blog. It's just because we develop that tunnel vision. Okay? I'll leave you with one last thing. Now, I've given you a lot of ways that you could get this done, either free or very cheaply. Now, thing is, a lot of times the people who are going to make those videos are not going to have a whole lot of marketing knowledge or be able to recommend alternatives on how to get it right. Now, obviously, this is something that I have been doing for a very long time. So if you would like me to go in there and do a little bit of user testing on your blog, go over to blogmarketingacademy.com, click on products, and you will actually see an option there to get me to do a blog audit on your site. And I can actually do this for you. Now, my blog audits are a lot deeper than just going in and saying, hey, you know, your site doesn't look good in this particular browser. I mean, it's not, I can do that for you and I will spot design problems. But where I come in is I recommend how to fix it, and I look at it from a marketing and conversion perspective. Whereas a lot of these other guys might be good at pointing out flaws in the layout or giving you a first impression of the way you communicate the brand, but maybe they don't actually give you the alternative or how to fix it. So that's the blog profit audit. It's over at the blogmarketingacademy.com. Be happy to help you. And with that, I think I've talked long enough about user testing. So hopefully you got some cool resources out of this one, found it valuable. I definitely recommend you put some of these things to use to get that outside perspective on your blog. And I will see you next time on episode 60 of Coffee Break Blogging. Okay? Until then, have a good one.